life, it was full of activities, as our first engagement was the crisis of hiking school fees, which the student union resisted and eventually led to the closure of the academic activities. The National Executive Council, ably led by the President Yadi Mbelo, had to step in. When all negotiations broke down, we listened to all stakeholders, and eventually, we brought them back to the negotiating table, and the matter was eventually resolved amicably with no feature and no vantage. Consequently, the experience of the crisis brought about some challenges to us as a body that we need to do more on the scholarship, mentoring, and capacity building. The annual fees payable by the graduating student was also reviewed and approved by the National Working Committee, from the 2,015 naira being paid by the undergraduates to 5,050 naira. And of course, the 5,050 naira being paid by the postgraduates being raised to 10,050 naira. While the salaries of our administrative staffs and allowances were also reviewed upward. The executive members leave no stone unturned to appeal to all stakeholders for increase in available scholarships, and the idea of webinar was birthed. This will provide platform for capacity building for the undergraduates and full-time community. We had our first webinar in April this year titled "Harnessing Unlimited Scholarship Opportunities," and the second webinar in November titled "Leveraging the Internet for Multiple Income Streams." And the feedback has been encouraging. There has been growth in the scholarship opportunities among our students this year. 32 from the National Alumni Indigenous Scholarship Program, 15 from Ekiti State Branch, 141 from Dr. Gbenga Awolabi, 18 from the Diaspora USA, and 50 from Futana. And we believe there are other individuals or organizations that we did not capture. In April this year, we partnered with Akure Global on FinTech innovation for our undergraduates and supported every entrepreneurial skills and technological innovations program within and outside the campus. This, we believe, will position our students for future challenges and to self-actualized. Beyond this, our membership drive, both the National Executive Committee and the branches are on top of the expected targets. Members of the National Exco took a trip to Abuja to interact with the leadership with a view to challenge and encourage them. And the visitation took us to some of our alumni, like the Minister of Youth Development, Mr. Adele Olawande Wisdom, the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Dr. Marcus Ogunbiyi, Director, Ministry of Regional Development, Engineer Musaba Kokada, Engineer Jide Mascos, and a host of others. Subsequently, the branches are also doing great. Ekiti State Branch program, TAC Concave 3.0 with scholarship for 10 Ekiti students, Osun State Reunion Program, and Lagos State Reunion Program that catalyzed into the donation of desktop computers, scanners, printers, and photocopier machines valued at over 4 million naira, was donated to the DEHR unit of Utah Registry. Other branches are also planning their own reunion programs. Like Oyo State and Ogun State are planning to have their own December this year. And every department and faculties in the university are now celebrating Alumni Day stroke in a bid to raise support for their activities. Also, I'm happy to inform you that the Kwara State branch of Futa Alumni Association Worldwide was inaugurated on the 2nd of November 2024. The life insurance cover for the members of the National Work Committee was also renewed. Furthermore, the much anticipated maiden edition of Futa Alumni Sports Festival that involved all the schools and faculties in different games came up between July 29th and August 1st, 2024. It was a huge success, and we appreciate all the executives and members of that community. We don't relent in attending members' programs and social engagements, and also giving support where necessary. Also, because of the worldwide status of our association, our constitution must be brought to the global standard in terms of precision of legal language and practical utility. This formed the basis for the constitution of a committee as approved during the last convention to amend and overhaul our existing laws to meet the global standard. The committee will be briefed. We briefed the convention about their activities so far. Apart from several intervention programs to the university, our capital project, which is our 500 capacity computer-based CBT, is receiving attention as we just concluded the installation of a long-span roofing sheet, and we hope we can deliver the building before the next convention. Let me also say that Relationship between the alumni bodies and the university manager has been cordial and rewarding. So also is that of the student union body. Also, our engagement with the Conference of Alumni Association of Nigerian Universities, Kano, is also encouraging. I must not forget to bring to your attention our desire to have Futa Alumni Global Homecoming. This event is planned to come up sometimes next year, and a committee that has been formed that across different generations of alumni from different parts of the world. The aim is to create a platform for Futarians to interact and share values that will be beneficial and foster growth among members of the alumni in particular and the university in general. The committee that will be chaired by Professor Jonathan Onyekwelu will be launched today. Our commitment to recognize and appreciate our distinguished alumni and bodies, alumni with unwavering passion to contribute to the growth of our students and development of our university brought about the annual Presidential Award of recognitions to such individuals. This year's award goes to the duo of Dr. Owolabi Genja Ayodele, who is the commercial manager, Annual Gas Processing Company Limited, and of course, our Futa alumni North America, that's Futana. Lastly, let me welcome our distinguished alumnus and our guest speaker for this year's alumni lecture, Professor Francis Igbason, the Vice Chancellor of McPherson University, for this year's annual lecture titled Alumni Challenges, Balancing Infrastructural Development, Scholarships, and the Nigeria Educational Loan Fund, NEFA. I believe this lecture will redefine our commitment and engagement to our students and the university. Thank you, and God bless you all. Sign at the Bello President. Thank you, and God bless you.
If you can do better, please let's jam hands together for President. God bless us. As the next on the program,
Sir, you can rate your observation. Okay. Okay. So the secretariat will be coming for the last minute. Thank you. Yes, sir. The agenda is inside. It's on page 2. Yes, it's on page 2, sir. Thank you, sir. It's on page 2. Thank you, sir.
Minutes of the last convention held at T.I. Francis Auditorium on the 16th day of November 2023. The minutes started at about 11:20 a.m. with the president apologizing to the participants for starting behind schedule as the meeting was slated for 10 a.m. He then also expressed the inability of the incumbent National General Secretary and the Assistant Secretary to attend the convention due to the new career appointments they had, and therefore pleaded with Mr. Idede Oseyande to please help with taking of the minutes of the convention. He also pleaded with the House to permit the National PRO to be allowed to read the minutes of the previous convention on behalf of the National General Secretary, who was unavoidably absent. Thereafter, introduction of guests followed, and the convention took effect. While the introduction of guests and members of the convention was ongoing, the Vice Chancellor and her entourage walked in. She was introduced, and due to the other engagement that she had, she was permitted to quickly say a few words before leaving. She greeted members of the alumni cheerfully and wished the meeting was not an annual thing, as the more frequent it can be, the better. This, she believed, would help in having a robust discussion and improve partnership between the school and the alumni body. She emphasized some concerns which she earlier raised the day before during the convocation meeting, and these include: 1. Mentorship. She gave a personal example of how she chose biochemistry as a course of study because she was not properly guided. As a young school leaver, her favorite subjects were chemistry and biology. So when she saw biochemistry as an option in the JAMB book year, she felt that was the best thing. She strongly believed that if she had known better, she would probably have gone for a better course. She pleaded passionately that members of the alumni should find time to organize mentorship programs for the undergraduate students to give them soft landing after graduation. Infrastructure. She stressed the investment opportunities open to members of the alumni who wish to invest in hostel facilities in the school, most especially in the permanent site where construction is currently ongoing. She rounded up by appealing to the alumni body for unity and peace. Being an election year, she pleaded that the election results should not divide the house, as we are stronger and better with a united house. She urged the winners to be magnanimous in victory, and the losers to exercise the spirit of sportsmanship and move on, as there is a tomorrow for another election. Thereafter, she thanked the leadership of the alumni body for the cooperation with the school management thus far, and hoped the cooperation is sustained. Finally, she thanked everyone present and requested to be excused so she can continue her preparation to host the Honorable Minister, who was already on his way to the university campus. The President then requested that the motion for the adoption of the agenda be raised. Comrade Ajala Aditunji raised an observation based on the arrangement of the agenda and suggested that the election should be the last on the agenda, as it would be practically impossible to come back to the agenda after the elections. The observation was greeted with varying observations and opinions, which almost made the convention rowdy. Comrade Dr. Adisomojo Olaitan, the immediate past president and rep in council, then clarified the divergent views, giving instances to previous election years, and the matter was laid to rest with a little modification based on time, which was suggested by Professor Agbede. The motion for the adoption of the agenda was then moved by Mr. Adeboye Olufemi and was seconded by Comrade Kayode Shaba. The National PRO was then called upon to read the minutes of the last convention. Professor Agbede raised some observations from the minutes, which ranged from misspelled words to improper reporting, and the corrections were effected immediately. Professor Salahu raised an observation concerning the attendance. He said he was at that convention, but his name did not reflect on the attendance list of the minutes. This was also noted and corrected. The motion for the adoption of the minutes was moved by Honorable Olamide Fashola, Ogun Branch Chairman, and seconded by Comrade Ojo from Osun Branch. Mr. Akin Aino suggested that the minute of the meeting be included in the program booklet in subsequent conventions, so as to enable participants follow through while it is being read. The external auditor then came up to give the financial audited report for the year in review 2022. In response to the financial report, Mr. Aino raised concerns over the non-inclusion of the current financial year in the report. He said the year being reported is over 10 months old, and so many people might not be able to recollect what is being discussed in the report. He also suggested that the financial report should be included in the convention program booklet. Honorable Olamide Fashola also supported the idea of including the financial report in the program booklet, irrespective of the financial year being reported. Engineer Aduwo stressed the concern earlier raised by Mr. Akin Aino on the inclusion of the current year in the financial report. He went further to add that since the alumni now has a fixed start date and end date of a tenure, the financial year can be adjusted within the time frame so that a sitting president can be held accountable of his financial transactions under his administration, instead of the waste of time and fruitlessness of now running after an ex-president if found wanting in financial recklessness as experienced in the past. Comrade Aruna added his voice to the deliberation by saying the financial issue can be addressed if the internal auditor will stop being a figurehead and do his job. In his opinion, if the internal auditor does his job quarterly, he raises alarm when red flags are seen in the financial transactions, thereby alerting the National Working Committee who would ward in before the expiration of the tenure of the sitting president. As the opinions floated on different directions, Engineer Ayodele Oke from Delta Branch tried to help the convention to understand what was being debated, as the opinions being put forward showed that majority of the members of the convention are requesting two conflicting things. He drew the House's attention to the difference between a financial report and an audited report. Chief Victor Ifezwe took it up from there and gave practical analogy to expatiate the differences Engineer Oke had tried to pass across. He said an audited report is like a certificate. Irrespective of what is written there, there's nothing you can do about it. It cannot be questioned and not open for deliberation. But a financial report is like a transcript where you can question your grades in some courses based on what the results are available, based on what is the results available to you. With the clarity, he now suggested that if the members at the convention would agree, they can make it a resolution from the convention that the current financial year be included in the annual convention as financial report, while the external auditor can continue with the audited report. This was unanimously agreed by the House and the resolution was passed. As the House treated any other business, the head of Futa Advancement Center walked in and raised the concern over the inclusion of an appeal by the leadership of the alumni in the president's report, which was aimed at ensuring the organic alumni members, that's first degree alumni, get the privilege of being considered first as directors within the school. He said why he's not opposing the idea, as everyone is free to advocate for what they believe would drive their interest. He, however, felt it was not expedient to be included in print in the president's report. He suggested that this can be done in a more diplomatic way, directly to the vice chancellor. His concerns were that other non-organic members who have devoted all their lives in the development of the institution as staffs will see it as an act of ingratitude to their contributions to the growth of the school. The president acknowledged these concerns and promised to be more discreet with such sensitive issues going forward. The report on the development of the case between Mr. Love Aladejare and the School of Agriculture was also raised in the House. Comrade Samuel raised concerns on the zero presence of the convention online. He expressed his worry that the association cannot tag itself a worldwide association and there is no worldwide participation in a convention like this. He said he had checked social media handles of the association and also looked for Zoom links to see if it was being aired live, but he found none. The president said he too was surprised that it was not being streamed live, as there was preparation for it, and that he hoped to find out from those who were supposed to handle it why it was not done. He also promised that subsequent conventions will be duly transmitted. Engineer Orenevo pointed out the bottlenecks in our constitution and the retrogressive nature of some clauses, sections that is inimical to the expansion of the association, and therefore drew the attention of the president on the need for a constitution review. This position seems to be a unanimous concern, as majority of the members gave it a nod. Thereafter, Commander Ajala Adetunji raised the motion for the constitution of a constitution review committee. This was quickly seconded by Dr. Agbele. Chief Ifezwe expressed his concern based on past experiences and warns the convention against the wastage of time and limited resources. The members of the convention assured him that it won't be a waste of time this time, and he joined in the unanimous decision and hoped everything goes as anticipated. The convention stood by the motion, and in the absence of a counter motion, the motion was passed. All branches are to nominate a representative to represent the branch at the level of the committee. Since the association currently has 8 branches and the committee can't be an even number, the president was to be the 9th member. Thereafter, they are to elect a chairman and a secretary among themselves and report their submission to the next convention for ratification. In the absence of any other business, the motion for adjournment was raised by Mr. Ibileye Ayodeji and seconded by Honorable Adegoke. And then the closing prayer was said by Adeboye Olufemi. The president then stepped aside for the electoral chairman to preside over the elections.
Okay. Thank you. I think what is next on the agenda now is for us to, before listening to the minute, let's have your input in terms of corrections. If you have corrections and whatever, let us know. Additions and corrections.
Greatest food.
Good.
President, the national executive members. My name is Shaba Victor Coyote. And I was surprised when I heard the president saying whether we have correction or whatever addition. But before now, the convention, the minutes of the convention has always been printed, distributed to the members, so that for our review, for us to know what, even it can be in the program. And you have been with us before, you have been the vice president, you know what to do. Because I don't know, the minute is even length for us to comprehend a lot of things in it. So I want to implore the NEC to make sure next time this thing should not happen. They should print the minutes for us to have a view of it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm Professor Ayison. Just as a rider to what the last speaker said, I believe that the minutes are supposed to have been circulated so that to know exactly what and what is missing. However, from the minute I heard that there are 8 branches. Of course, if we don't have the minute, how will we know? I mean, how are we going to know whether we have just 8 branches or not? Even but from the booklet here, I could count about 9. I wouldn't know how come it becomes 9, even when on those 8 branches not even included.
I think I've mentioned this, that Kwara State has been inaugurated this year, and they also sent in their own report. So that's the difference, that we have Kwara State as a branch. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir, Mr. President. Thank you for the points you have raised about the minutes. I just want to say that maybe the minutes were not printed because of constraints. However, despite the constraints, maybe at the end of the day,
Yes.
so that
But I'm just looking at the attendance list, and I think one of the things I see as an error here is that we don't even collect individuals. So probably I will employ the secretariats can pass a paper around. Let's have the emails of people who are here. And going forward, we should make sure that the attendance list, there is a column for email, so that before the conventions, the minute will have been circulated. Thank you.
Mr. President, sir, for the sake of another time, maybe in a garden like this, we can project it. Everybody can have a
Yes,
glance.
sir. Thank you. And we have the soft copy. Want something? Okay. I think I will take charge now.
Thank you.
Okay, what is next in the agenda now?
Sir?
What is next in the agenda?
Now, adoption.
Okay, can we now have adoption of the minutes? And thank you.
Okay. Second.
Dr. Adeshomoju Olaitan Crown is my name. I want to propose an amendment to the agenda before it is adopted. Huh?
Hello, sir. We have is adoption for the minutes.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. After all corrections have been made, I, Adeshomoju, decide to adopt the minute the way it is presented. Thank you.
Greatest Futena. Shaba Victor Coyote, second motion moved by the immediate pastor.
Can go on with your program.
Okay. Next on the agenda is the auditor's report and the.
And yes, I think while our external auditors is getting prepared, I want to also inform the House. This one of our resolutions last year, that the auditor report will be make available. I'm coming. Make available for the convention. auditor report for the year 2023 is in our program here. You can look at the last pages as that's for 2023, where we call the external auditor to come and brief us about the auditor report. Our fiscal year is January to December. So, for 2023 auditor report, so I want to call on Chief.
Before you, I think they have information.
Correct.
Sorry, please, sir. Hello, sir.
Yes.
The reason why some of us are alive is for us to be able to guide, and we have some of our great grandfather. Yes, the truth of the matter is the agenda for this convention, and if you look at the last convention, the agenda was actually presented and adopted. Those are, if any, something like matters arising will have been strained. So it's unfortunate that the debating and the traditional is quickly eroded. I don't want to talk the other time. We do have emails and we do have copies. There was a year we missed it in the convention. We printed copies, photocopy, and we shared it so that people can have it. So, Mr. President, please, it is not too late. Let us have the agenda, we adopt it, then we follow it. You know, there was the agenda for this convention.
Is there now?
Yes, you will now ask for we should adopt it. It is when we adopt it, things like that will come on, like matters arising. Maybe we will have some things that we want to add or subtract.
Thank you. I think
please let us adopt.
Rightly said, but this is something we have discussed. Why we started this? Somebody was about listening and said we can move on. The agenda is there. If we skip the PRO to mention the issue of adoption, then maybe. But what we are discussing now is matters arising from the minutes. Yes, ma'am.
There is going to be agenda. It may be in the book, yes. We will all look at it. We might add, delete or do some amendments. Then we all adopt. And after adoption, we follow that agenda. I think that is what is being pointed out. So we can quickly correct it. It's still not too late.
Okay, thank you so much for the observations. Thank you. Okay, please let me just read it out and then maybe. Oh, okay, it's well on page 2. Do we have anything we want to adjust? So that we can now move. Okay. Allow the president.
I think what I will do now is let me take charge of this.
Okay, thank you.
I think after I will take charge. Now, what we are discussing now is the agenda. Let's look at the agenda from our paper, our program. If there is anything we need to amend in the agenda. Thank you, sir.
The agenda is in page 2. And fortunately for us, we have done a reasonable part of the agenda. However, for record purpose and for history, the way it was handed over to us and the way we believe it should continue. Number 1, national anthem, introduction, reading and adoption of agenda. Like I said, some of them have been done. So I want to propose after the auditor report, that constitutional review committee report should be removed from the agenda based on constitutional reason. Amendment procedure. I have another one. Matters arising will come up, but I want the first one and the reason why I feel it should not be in the agenda. Amendment procedure. This control was signed by Akure, former president. And it states, and I read, any amendment, meaning for you to discuss an agenda on constitutional review of this constitution or wants to be ratified by the National Convention. This is National Convention. It states, such an amendment may be proposed by any member through his or her branch, shall be communicated to the National Secretary. That means the Constitutional Review Committee member will have communicated to the National Secretary. And at least 3 months before the date of the convention, the National Secretary, another constitutional position of this constitution, not written by me, the National Secretary shall incorporate such proposed amendments in notice. It must have communicated this notice to us, in notice to all members, while convening the convention at least 60 days before the day of the convention. Mr. President, sir, I want to tell you that even Constitutional Review Committee members are aware of this amendment less than a week ago. Less than a week ago, member of the Constitutional Review Committee just heard about this presentation. And I also want to remind you that the General Secretary saw this thing less than a week ago. I'm talking about officially. It was officially communicated less than a week ago, Mr. President. So in view of that, it will be an aberration. And I'm sure you know that some of these things are online. That the Constitution says the President shall moderate the convention at NWC and at convention. That is why the PRO is not moderating. That's why the Vice President is not moderating. The same Constitution said for us to discuss constitutional review at all, it must have been communicated to member at least 60 days. So please note that, and I want everyone to know that. Then secondly, very fundamental one. After every presentation of convention, there is always the second one. Matters arising from the convention. That's what will lead us to subsequent new things. If not, most things will have been forgotten. One of it is the issue of discussing your expenditure in the last 1 year. I rest my case for now. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me say this. We all listen to the minutes of the last convention. Sometimes when you try to prove that you know the law, what your constitution is saying is if there's going to be an amendment to the constitution. The last convention clearly stated it and constitute a committee to look into those areas of conflicts in our constitution. The committee have sat down, they've done some work, and they are here to give us the report of how far they've gone. They must give us report, because this was done 12 months ago. We are not saying we are amending the constitution now. So that aspect of the constitution is not valid in this situation. Excuse me. It's not valid in this situation. What we intend to do here today is for us to listen to what this committee has done, send it to individuals, branches, members, then we'll now give them that you are saying. We have two options. It's either we wait for the next convention, or the convention allows us to have an emergency convention which can come in between the year for us to now do the ratification. It is that time that will now say, yes, we are following that 6 months. You cannot tell me that if you constitute a committee in the last occasion, they will not give us the report. Thank you. But matters arising, like I said, I think the PRO has explained that he omitted the idea of adopting the agenda, which I think will correct it. Thank you. You want us to add something to the matters arising? Thank you.
For instance, this issue might not even come up.
Exactly.
Because why discuss matters arising? Because you set up a committee that time. Yes. We asked for the report of the committee.
Exactly. I agree with you.
We don't put it as a substantive issue, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, man. Thank you. That's Secretariat. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Sorry, sir. We have,
so I think.
Sorry, sir. We have an online viewer that wants to say something.
Okay.
So,
can we have him?
The online viewer, please.
Please.
Yeah, we can hear you, sir.
The committee.
Thank you. Let me thank you, Professor Oyekwelu, for some of these things we are all clear about it. Probably the way we are using the grammar is what is creating confusion here. And you don't preempt. I see a situation where it's like we are preempting what the chairman of the committee is trying to do here. One thing that is clear to us is that we are not here to adopt the report of the committee, but we are here that the chairman should brief us about the activity of the committee that has been constituted. So what is it? To me, and we should be, excuse me, the report has been given to the NWS. Excuse me, I have the floor. Hello? It is not yet an aberration. Excuse me, Mr. Hello, sorry. I think you should allow, excuse me, I think we should have decorum here. Mr. Kran. Okay. Sorry, it's okay. What we are trying to do here, we will know them by their color. It's unfortunate, that language. I hope it won't come again. What we're trying to do here, sir, we are giving reports. We have a committee, and we are saying, committee, come and brief us about your activities. For God's sake, the power still lies with you here. To now say, yes, the brief of what we have done, we've heard you. Okay, maybe, because you don't have the time. If you close it like this, when do you want, the next time you have this convention, if you call the emergency convention, but we should have the direction of the committee. That's a brief a preamble, what they are thinking, what they want to give to us. We have the NWC. The report has been submitted to them already. That will go to all the branches for debate. That will be done next year. But it's not yet too bad for them to come here and say, okay, you've inaugurated us. This is what we have done in the last 12 months. For God's sake. No bias here. We are not saying we are adopting. But at least let's so that the convention can understand if they are doing the right thing. Are they in the right direction of what you have asked them to do? In the course of their preamble, you will know that yes, they are on the line. Then the idea of the constitution to give 90 days and others will come later. It's a simple thing. Yeah, Prof. Convention that
Hello. Okay, thank you. Please, let's maintain decorum, please. Please, we are family. Hello, we are family. Please, we should mind our language. Please. Then, President, you are president. Please, be president. No matter what, don't be pushed. Understand? Well, I think this matter has been resolved by the last two speakers, Professor Mrs. Ajayi and Unyupe. There was an omission in the agenda, which is matters arising. This issue of a constitutional review, whatever committee, should have come under matters arising, which we have told you that the way that can be included. In other words, there's a way we do it. For example, under matters arising, yes, we set up a constitutional review committee, and the committee have started their work. You can say, okay, Mr. Chairman of that committee, what is the level of this work? He can make a comment, but it's quite different from when a report is to be presented. Because it's a constitutional matter. So that is why people are challenging coming as a report to be presented. It's only when something has been completed that the committee can say, yes, I want to present a report. But under matters arising, you can invite the chairman or any member of the committee to make comment on how far they have gone about the report.
Yes,
and I want to plead with you that let it go that way.
God bless
and
you, sir. So please, could we quickly have it?
Deleted from the agenda.
Matters arising. Matters arising. So we'll look at our minutes and start. No need. No. Just matters arising from the Constitution. Thank you so much, Prof. Okay, yeah. Under the matters arising, I think we talked about the issue of should we adopt the agenda now? Thank you. Thank you. Is it the only matters arising or any other thing? Thank you. Please do.
So, that's why I want to take them. So, after our deliberation, Adeshomo Jolaiton, I want to move a motion that the agenda should be adopted, excluding the constitutional review report as written. Every other instance. In addition, there will be matters arising after this report.
Thank you.
Then that one can be removed. Thank you very much. All protocol details.
Seconder, please. Okay.
I, Ojoluwole Joseph, I hereby second that motion based on the fact, on the established point that as our father here, I don't know his name, that Professor Ilesomi.
I hope you want to second the motion.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, so while we'll quickly go run to the matters arising now. And under matters arising, there are issues we can discuss. One of the issues under the matters arising that we've stated in the minutes is the issue of the Constitutional Review Committee. And I want to implore the entire members of this convention at least since we're still within the mode of that same constitutional review, let me call the chairman to brief the House what you have done next in the last 12 months that you are inaugurated and all that. So I want to call Honorable Gokiola Jide to please come forward and brief the convention what they've been able to do. Thank you.
The President, all other protocols, great Futarians, regards the work of the Constitution, we have started the work. With regards to the work of the Constitution Review Committee, we have started the work, and we want to report to the convention and to apologize that we are not able to present the final report here. But we just want to presented a report to the National Working Committee yesterday, and it was resolved that the report should go to the branches and follow the constitutionally stipulated period of discussion at the branches. But we just want to explain some of the rationale behind the proposed draft. If we look at the constitution that my brother was quoting, see there, Alumni Association Constitution. The Utah Alumni Association, and then it stipulates that it will have branches in every state of the country and chapters within the branches. The Utah Alumni Association has grown beyond the Nigerian organization. It has become an international organization. There are branches in several countries. And we have Nigerians who have made their mark and have achieved very, very phenomenal accomplishments in other places who want to be associated with the association and through the association connect with the university. So the meaning of that is that the association has transformed from a local Nigerian organization to an international organization. And for that to work perfectly, it starts from the ground norm, the regulations, the constitution. And that is what we are trying to do. We've made suggestions for the branches to consider. And definitely there has to be change. Starting from the name. I'm sure that constitution, Dr. Crown in Gold, doesn't have worldwide title. So starting from that, it will change from Utah Alumni Association, it will have worldwide to reflect the international status. Then NWC cannot be national. Whatever title you give it, we are suggesting temporary or any title, whatever the brand, can no longer be national. Likewise, the executive cannot be national. So those are the suggestions. And then, good enough, we are already moving with the time. Oga Oyekwelu is attending this meeting actually, and is able to contribute. We also think that that should be covered by the law. If we want to give people, even outside, not just outside Nigeria, wherever they are within Nigeria, and of course outside Nigeria, as I mentioned, I think there are branches United States and United States. So the idea is that so in summary, what we are just suggesting to the branches that while reviewing and while making other proposals, we should look at it from the point of view that the association has graduated an international organization, and then all other things that make the association able to function from that.
Thank you very much for your brief introductions or the mission before you. And I think all of us here should understand one thing. What we are here to do. If we are talking of FUTA Alumni Association, and our CAC documentation is saying FUTA Alumni Worldwide, it's already an aberration. And we need to do it right. So to me, I think it's more important for us, give them that enough time. Good enough is to go to branches. Each branches will look at it, come back to the NWC, call another. The only thing is that probably we may call that emergency convention between the lines, in between the years. Probably we can look at it and agree on certain areas that needs to be changed. But one thing is clear to all of us here today, that even the nomenclature, by virtue of the legal implications, needs to be changed. So we all know that. And they are giving us the directions that in all the words of the constitutions, that worldwide must be considered for us to have that working paper called the constitutions that we are looking at. So while we've listened to the chairman, I don't know, I think what we need to do is just to allow them to do their work. Then the branches will come back to give the NWC whatever reports, reactions. So to me, yeah, so we'll allow the branch to send their reports to us. I think we're in order with this. I don't think we should react to this really if what we're saying is that they are not presenting reports, except you heard the chairman. Maybe there is one direction you think they should also look into. And that should be sent through the branch. To me, if you say we should be having reactions here, we will not get out of this. And we don't have the time, we are working with the time. So in view of this, I want to employ all of us. Let's play it down for now, and let's move on to the next thing on the agenda. Thank you. Now, under matters arising, is there any other thing we need to look at? Our CBT was mentioned that time under matters arising, affected. For some of us who are passing through our 500 seater capacity computer-based test building, you could see that the roofing has been completed. So I think that is the major for anybody when you understand the constructions. Roofing is not something you do halfway. You must be ready to make sure the cash is on the table, you start and you finish. The other ones, plastering windows, can be done in piecemeal. To us, I think we're a bit relieved that we've been able to pass through that stage. So that means for every 500,000 naira, for example, we don't have excuse to say, sorry, we cannot do anything. Because I believe even the 500, even the 200,000 naira can do it plastering. So, which I think will be a guide for us. So, these are the other things that I can say from the minutes. Do we still have anything under matters arising that we need to discuss under matters arising? Yeah, the financial report you said we should include has been included as directed. If you look at your program, the audited report is there in the program. And of course, the financial secretary will give a brief of the financial report of the year under review. Like I said, our fiscal year is January to December. Naturally, the audit will be January to December. But we are having our convention before the end of the fiscal year. So she can only, and the strategy we employ is to have the internal auditor to do his audit every quarter, every 3 months, January to March, April to June, July to September, October to December. So that all time, within 3 months, we're able to do the audit. It's after this that we're now calling the external auditor for proper audit. So this we've done, and I think it's there. Is there any other thing that we've been able to overlook in the under matters arising? Other matters arising? Hello? All right. Different from what we have mentioned.
What you have said.
The
hall and the activities so far.
All right.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. And I want to comment the neck on one thing, because it's a thing of joy for me to see that building started it only our own regime, where we are part of that make sure this thing gets to that level. But there's been an eyesore to us, seeing the building not being ruled since that time you took over from President Olai Donka. But last time, last week I went there and I saw that the place has been ruled. Somebody told me public. But on getting there, there's one thing I don't like, and I really don't like to see projects like that. There should be kind of safety measure and some kind of free activities on that project. Like Haruna, you are a project manager. You're supposed to have clear inside the building. I went there, I want to move around. I discovered there are thick bushes inside the building with bushes, forests, like big trees inside. It's not good enough for that kind of project. It should have been cleared so that you could make it worthwhile. And then there's one thing this is a system, it's an institution, and we don't want anything to be eroded. Constitutionally, when I heard about the increment in fee, yes, we know what is happening around. We know the inflation, we know what has happened. There is every possibility for you to increase fee, the levies, but we have not done it procedurally the way it should be done. That is, when this one was increased, it was done procedurally, and some people came to us more than 20 times, more than 30 times, that we should review it. We said it's a conventional issue. If they can come to the convention and discuss it, that we should review it that one, then there's no problem about that. Why we are doing that, why the Constitution stipulate this, is because in nearest future, somebody can come to the office and say, yes, 5,000 is too small for me, I want to increase it to 20,000. NAWC can come. Constitution stipulates the supremacy of the Constitution, the supremacy of the convention. It's the convention that we.
Please, you have the convention with you.
Yes,
you have the constitution with you.
Yes, I have.
Let's see this. Let's this for record purpose.
Yes. Well, I know people are saying NWC. Function and powers of the National Convention. Section 3, subsection 3. Have powers, that is page 6, to impose levies and penalties in furtherance of the association project and activities. In furtherance of the association project and activities. Why they said that is because anybody I've said it earlier on can do that and come and be saying, yes, I want to increase, I want to do this, I want to. But in view of that, I'm not saying what you did is wrong, but procedurally it's not right. And in view of that, I want to enjoy the convention. I want to move a motion so that you can go and review it. We can give you the power to review. Because in future...
Review what?
Review what you have done.
Which one?
The increment in fee, in the levy.
Let me respond to you.
No, don't, before you... I have my reason for saying that.
In
future, it serves as a precedence. Somebody in future can say...
Thank you.
Can say there is a NEC and NWC that there was a NEC and NWC that have done that before.
Thank you.
So we don't want that to happen. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Comrade Shaba. Let me say this. We are all here as a family. The first one you said is you went there, you saw bushes inside the building. Did you call any of the escort? Thank you. I'm coming. It's not a discussion of it. We are just trying to explain you that when you observe things that others didn't say, excuse me, call the attention of people around you. When people say it is bushy, the PP was informed, they call, thank God Elijah Ali is there, they went to clear the bush. You understand me? So if you see anything, you don't wait for convention before you say it. That's number one. Number two, that aspect of the constitution you are quoting is wrong. It's wrong. That aspect of the constitution is not, excuse me, see, thank you. See, sometimes we have NEC, we have NWC. When it comes to regulation of fees like this, the NWC has the power to regulate. You don't wait for NEC. What we are saying is this. Take a system project we're doing, and we say we want to do a project of 10 million. And there is a reason for us to change the cost to something else. What do? We refer to the convention. And let me tell you this, sometimes, even while we are there together, when we are presenting budgets, you see your budget of 2021, right? Maybe CBT will cost us 20 million. By 2022, same you, secretary, you say the CBT will cost 25 million because of inflation. We all know this. Thank you. So, I'm just telling you this, that we have not done anything outside the law, okay, to warrant you trying to move any motion. Thank you. We are trying to educate ourselves, and I think you've been briefed. Thank you. Yeah, Prof.
Thank you very much. What Mr. Shaba raised, and when it comes to the issue of a levy, not out of point. You had good intention by increasing the levy so that some things could be done. You raised the constitutional matter. And what I am expecting you to do is to take us to that section that says that the National Working Committee can increase fees unilaterally. Of course, we will accept that. But if it's not that, if it's not there, then we can now look at a way out, at least to ratify what you have done on our behalf. It's not just arguing or trying to counter ourselves here. We are working together. Let's look at it and let's be guided by this constitution.
Thank you, Prof.
Very important.
God bless you. No, let me say. Hey. Thank you. And I think since we are being guided by time, our guest speaker will soon arrive, so we don't have much. But I think, to me, we can just move on and Prof. Thank you. It's okay, it's okay. Thank you, ma'am. Please write on. Go on.
This is an administration.
I mean, you expect
and
it.
We are family. Yeah. We are all Futurians. When they shout Futurians, all of us will answer. If they look at the year of graduation of all of us, still senior ourselves, there are some senior citizens, like Professor Ayeson. Then, Bello, I am your senior citizen. At least I'm your teacher. So therefore, if he has said that you have taken some actions on our behalf, either the Constitution permits you to do it or it does not permit you to do it, but you have done that on our behalf. There is nothing wrong if any of us move the motion that Mr. President has done this on our behalf and he cannot wait for the convention of maybe November before that thing is done. We can just rectify that thing you have done and then we move on. Better for you. Because if you continue to look at, some people are here to attack your regime. Some are here to attack what you have done. Then you won't make any progress. Because in life, you cannot satisfy everybody. Where you have your friends, you will have the other thing. You must learn to live with all of them if you want to be a good leader. And I believe, Engineer Bello, you want to be a good leader. Let's rectify what you have done. Let somebody move the motion to rectify that our president has done this on our behalf, and we all give our support to it, and we move forward, please.
You see what we really? See, what we are, it's okay. I think I'll go with whatever majority is saying. But I must say this. I must say this. We have the National Executive Council that has the right to run the associations every day-to-day running of the association. We even increase salary of our staff. We didn't come to the convention. So we do projects. You see, when I just find it that when you use a rule in room A, same rule you say you cannot use in room B. But it's okay. Like I said, we'll keep moving and we'll play it right. But I would still want to put it on record. We have not do anything aberration that is outside the Constitution. So if you say let's just say it at the motion, no problem. Thank you.
Mr. President, all of that prerogative, sir. I think I want to appeal to our leaders that are here. That, fine, when somebody raises issue, you should please place the role of a leader. The individual, please, I want to talk because I spent 7 hours on the road and I'm here for a convention. And I should maximize the opportunity. I don't want to be disappointed for coming for this convention. I don't want to be disappointed. Because the reason being, the individual that have raised this issue was a former national secretary of the association. He has access to the secretariat. Must you wait for the convention before we can correct issues? This business has been increased for over 2, 3, 4 months. Are we waiting for the convention to come and cause issues here? Because some of us are not happy. I can't spend 7 hours on the road and come and be looking at trivial issues. All conventions over the world, the end of the issue have powers to look at issues in between the conventions.
No, I think we are past that. I think. No, Prof has cleared that. Prof has cleared it, and I think we should just allow. You want to move that motion to? I don't want any debate on this again. I think. No, give Prof. Just move that motion and let's move on.
Mary, I, Professor Mary Taiwo Olowokere, who graduated in 1992, I moved the motion that the increase in the levy our president has done on our behalf, that we all give it a support and confirmation. Thank you.
Thank you. Who is seconding the motion? Who is that? Seconder? Professor? Okay, seconding the motion. Okay, Shaba seconding the motion. Thank you. Oh, you want to say something? You are going to cast. Okay. Thank you, sir. So the motion has been seconded. Thank you.
Thank you for seconding the motion. Thank God for the elders. Professor Ayesomi spoke. Professor Olowokere spoke. Sorry. I've always said it. And this is where I have my problem with our... Some people are outside. Please, please, please.
Please, everybody come inside.
They can even stay outside, but they should not...
make noise.
Yes. And that is where I will... What I want to say before I leave. Futa is about 42 years of age. I will continue to say it. It's high time we put a stop to running our alumni association as if we are running student unionism. And it's one of the things affecting our attendance. Issues can come up when they raise it, like the action taken by the executive. For instance, normally, administratively, it will just be part of his report. If it is part of his report, then he gives justification and people will ratify it the way it has been ratified. But let our motive of coming here be about footer, and footer. Drop personal acrimony. Anything that concerns is about footer. Professor Ayesomi knows. All this running, If we continue to run in like this, the elders will continue to stay away. So please, I want to plead with everybody. Uta Alumni Association has come of age. And let us run it. You see where some of those people who are the 20 years, 30 years, if you know where they are now, if you ask some of them to come and sit down, and some of the things you are discussing, the next time they will not come. I pray God will help us in Jesus' name. Mr. President, please, it is true, NWC can take decisions on behalf of the House. But when we convene like this, report to the House.
So much.
That's how it goes. Thank you very much.
Bless it. Okay, so what? Okay, is our external auditor around? Oh, Chief, please can you come and present your report?
President, all other protocols duly observed. We have gone through the records of the association, and from there we have given this report. Auditors report to the members of Federal University of
The same auditor report is in your booklet. Please check your booklet.
Alumni Association Worldwide. We have audited the financial statement of Federal University of Technology, Akure, annual Alumni Assoiciation Worldwide for the year ended 31st December 2023, which have been prepared under the accounting conventions policies set out on page 4. We have obtained all the informations and explanations which, to the best of our knowledge and belief, were necessary for our audit. We have examined the accounting records which have been properly kept in such a form as to explain and give a true and fair view of the transactions that took place during the year. The respective responsibilities of executive and auditors. The executive are responsible for the preparation of the financial statement. It is our responsibility to form an independent opinion on the financial statement based on our audit and to report our opinion to you. Basis of opinion. Conducted our audit in accordance with international acceptable auditing standard. An audit includes the examination on the test basis of evidence relevant to the amounts and disclosures in the financial statements. It is also includes an assessment of the significant estimates and judgments made by the executive in the preparation of the financial statement, and for whether the accounting policies are appropriate to the association's circumstances. Consistently applied and adequately disclosed. We planned and performed our audit with a view to provide us with sufficient evidence to give reasonable assurance that the financial statements are free from materials misstatement. In forming an opinion, we also evaluated the overall adequacy the preparation of information in the financial statement. In our opinion, and based on the information and explanations given to us, the financial statements agree with the accounting records and give in the prescribed manner the information required by the Companies and Allied Matters Act 1980, relevant statements of Financial Report Council of Nigeria, and give a true and fair view of the surplus of income over expenditure for the year ended on that date. You actually FCA managing resident partner Adele Sojoko Akure. That's the certificate. Want to go to the accounting schedule in detail. Page 6 is the financial position. For that, we have to go to page 7, which is the comprehensive income for the year ended 31st December 2023. So income for 2023 is 22,662,451 as against 6,927,250 the previous year. That's 2022. Then the expenditure follow. Salaries and allowances is 1,035,000. Meetings and conferences 8,596,655. Admin and secretariat expenses 4,969,650. All allowance is 96,000. Repairs and maintenance 224,500. Advert and public relations 120,000. Sticker and banner 474,000. Professional fee 225,000. Electoral expenses 350,000. You have bank charges, which is 113,645. Depreciation, well, it's not really an expense, but we have to make a provision for your fixed assets. That is 1,010,930 naira. Swearing expenses 288,000. And the total expenditure for that period is this is revenue expenditure 17,503,380 naira. So the surplus now is 5,159,071. Then we now move on to your balance sheet now, the former balance sheet, which is the financial position. Project non-current assets, that's your fixed assets, your buildings, your vehicles, plant and machineries, and so on. The total is 101,667,865. Your current asset, which is cash, is only 12,172. So total is 111,680,037 naira. So the corresponding figure, which is you have two sides, the asset side and the liability side. And that one, the liability side now is you have a accumulated fund of 107,232,362 and current liabilities owed to different categories of people is 4,446,475. We have given series of notes here, which is note from note 10. These are the notes to the accounts, and we wish to go through them. Set asset schedule. That's note 1. Those are your assets. Your building, office equipment, furniture, and fitting. So on. The depreciated value is around 1,667,865. And your current assets, you have no current assets except cash and bank balances. Sources of income now, which is note 5, is dues from graduating students is 21,200,451. Then donation 652,000. Advert 180,000. Remuneration, okay. Election form 80,000. Then income from a rented apartment, which is your shop, 550,000, totaling 22,662,451 naira. Mr. President.
Thank you so much. I think that's all about the report of the audited account. If you have any questions to ask the audited report. Any question? As the audited report for the year ended December 2023. Any question? In the absence of any question, can we have a motion for the adoption of the audited report?
I, Mrs. Akure, so adopt the report.
Thank you.
Second. As presented.
Second.
My name is Shaba Victor Kayode. I second the motion.
Thank you. Thank you, Chief, for the job well done. We appreciate you. Thank you. I think quickly we can call the Financial Secretary to give the brief of our expenditure for the year under review. So please, Financial Secretary.
Futarian, particularly Futarian, yeah, standing on the existing protocol. The financial reports 2024 January to September, which is 3 quarters. We normally take it each quarter from January, February, March. We class it as the first quarter
then second quarter, third quarter. So I'm giving the report of the 3 quarters now. Opening balance. Opening balance, we have 12,172,000 naira as our opening balance 2024. Alumni due income, we have 21,355,666 naira 50 kobo. Our rent for the year is 250,000 naira. Donation from sport festival. We did our sport festival not quite long, and we went out to source for money, and we were able to get 610,000 naira. Outstanding debt 2022-2023, if you listen to the auditor report, it was there. It was 3,896,457 naira, 75 naira. We have NWC and NEC meeting allowance 2,330 naira, 2,330 naira, 30,000. Sorry. We have our refreshment and entertainment 232,000 naira. Printing of files, stickers, booklets 554,000 naira. Salary 786,370 naira. Attendance at events and committee allowance 1,925,500 naira. Secretarial repairs work 226,850 naira. Transport and fuel 265,750 naira. Executive committee working trip to Abuja. President gave that report where he was giving his speech. 909 naira, 909,200 naira. Support and donation 1,772,000 naira. Scholarship 2,240,000 naira. Logo meeting and website 357,300 naira. Staff loan 200,000. Canon 30,000. Alumina vehicle 142,700 naira. Sport festival, we just did it not quite long, 2,228,700,000. Life insurance for NWC and NEC member 270,000. Impress 20,000. Payments refund. There are times we withdraw money after spending, they return the leftover back to the bank. That is 147,400 naira. Repair of offset. Repayment of offset withdrawal. At times, some students will pay more than what they are supposed to pay, and the bank will refund the money back to them. We have 704,333,340. Bank charges, VAT, 173,516 naira 41 kobo. Our income so far is 22,227,833 naira 50 kobo. Our expedition is 19,458,144 naira 75 kobo. Our balance in bank as at September 30th is 2,769,638 naira 75 kobo. Thank you.
Thank you, Defense Secretary. I think if you have any questions, reactions on that, let's entertain that.
My name is Akindele Ahmed. Good afternoon,
Chairman.
All protocols duly observed. I saw that our income from other shop rent for this year is about 250,000 naira. And when I saw the one for last year, it's about 550,000 naira. Just want to know why and
yeah, really, most of them actually pay rent in October. The rent is most of them, and our exposure we captured January to September.
Thank you, Mr. President. Standing on established protocol. My name is Shababito Kayode, and I want to thank my sister who served together for comprehensive work giving. And then there is one observation I want to make. It might be outside this place and inside this one also. Kano, we have not been attending Kano. I just sorted it out, and we have a representative at the neck of Kano as an executive. Haruna.
Can you please tell us more that we've not been attending Kano? Give us the meetings probably you attended.
No, that's why I'm asking the question whether we have not been attending meetings of Kano. Why the expedition is so low to that extent. Because we normally attend 3 times or 4 times in a year. That is one. Then concerning the scholarship, I mean, what is the scholarship given to the indigent student by the Alumni Association. I think the last one, I observed that the alumni, I thought the alumni should be able to do more than what the alumni, the NEC did. You know, it's like you release 700 and something thousand. I thought you can sponsor about 20 of them because that time it was difficult for our members to even raise funds for that. Maybe our alumni will come, because in future, if you have the fund, I want to advise you to raise the bar so that about like 20 of them can be sponsored by the Alumni Association. Thank you very much.
Thank you. What we've been able to do in the areas of Kano, we have a representative there who is the Assistant Secretary of Kano. Most times he represented Tiba is the one that is managing the secretariat over there. Sometimes, if they say we should come for meetings, I think we attended last one, that's December last year, because they have this first, second quarter. But Kano is facing some small crisis. They want to merge Anua and Kano. So they will not be able to have the second and third quarterly meeting. So that lowers the expenditure in that regard. And of course, in the areas of scholarship, and that is why this year's lecture actually centers on that. That as an alumni body, where is our priority lies? FUTA, for example, look at it today. They are rationing lights, infrastructure is not working. Should we continue to give scholarship? Or should we look at some that we think we can provide for the school? 700,000 naira we spent last year can give about 15 solar lights. That means by the time we run 15 solar lights between Obaikere and Obala, we've light up that place. We can consider the lecture rooms. If the federal government is saying, I'm providing scholarship, access it free, should we also continue to give scholarship? And that issue is there, and that's why we're having this topic we want to discuss today, so that we can reassess ourselves as a body. Which area should we concentrate our resources on? But we need to look at it holistically. The NEP fund is there for all the students. Is this accessible? Can we do more in the areas of scholarship? So it's fundamental, and that's why we're having this topic today. And I think after this, we're able to reassess ourselves and know either we're increasing our scholarship or we're even reducing this for infrastructural development. Thank you. Any other response to the financial report? Thank you. Should we now go to AOB? And of course, under AOB, I want to talk about there is this homecoming. We talked about FUTA, 43 years of FUTA existence, and I think I don't think there is any barrier in terms of qualities that FUTA has not produced. But we are looking for a platform where all of us can come together again after these years and interact and share values of that our common bond, FUTA. How can we share ideas? How can we share network? Not just all of us who are here in Nigeria, people outside the country. Let's come together, let's talk. And it's not all about raising funds for the university this time around. I think we should also look inward and see how can we help ourselves as well as a people. So that's kind of global homecoming, which you have the committees already said. We've interacted with them. A lot of them have agreed to be part of this committee. It's going to come sometimes next year, all over the world. Generations upon generations, you come, we'll talk, we'll interact, we'll do business meetings. The university will come up with ideas. What are those opportunities that's even within the university for us to tap? So these are things we think we should do, and we are working on that. And of course, I want this convention to adopt, or let's inaugurate, these committee members. Those people we've been able to shortlisted for this global homecoming. Just to read the names to you. Please, you can help me stream the names. We have Professor Jonathan Onyekwelu. We have Mr. Femi Aboduni. Professor Jonathan Onyekwelu is in Nigeria, is a lecturer here. Mr. Femi Aboduni is in North America. Professor Henry Fadamiro is in USA. Mr. Emeka Onyejeli is in United Kingdom. Mr. Ibrahim Oladayo is in United Kingdom. Professor Kayode Aleshe is a lecturer here. Professor Yunus Yemisi Adeparusi, also in Nigeria. Engineer Ayodele Oke is Nigeria. Mr. Francis Omobude is in Canada. Mr. Abayomi Ayodele is in California, USA. And of course, Mr. Akintomide Aina, also in Nigeria. And Mr. Idede Usanya, who is the Assistant Secretary, will be the secretary for that committee, while Professor Jonathan Oyekwelu will be the chairman of the committee. It's expected that between now, next year, before the conventions, they have to look at the timetable and see the best time for them to plan it, and let's have this event. And so these are members. And the permission of the conventions, I want the convention to help us look at it. Let's adopt these names and let's inaugurate these names, the committee, so that they can start their work in earnest. Thank you. Reactions?
Thank you very much. Standing on the existing protocol, I want to seriously commend the brain and the innovation behind this, because I believe this will open great opportunities for the Alumni Association and for the university at the community at large. I pray that as it is being proposed, that everything that it will need to come to reality, God will help us to make it to become a reality in Jesus' name. With respect to that, I hereby move the motion. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. President. I look at the names, they are well-to-do people, well known to us. But there is one thing I learned that we have not discovered, I observed in that list. People from Akure, particularly Akure based, that are working outside, that are in the ministry, they are not represented. And we need somebody that can galvanize and mobilize them into this particular.
Thank you. What we've been able to do.
And at the same time, I think it should be in odd number, like somebody said. Please.
Thank you. We can look into that. But one of the things we told the committees to do is to give them that freedom to regulate their own proceedings. They can co-opt as much as they can. There will be subcommittees. And I want you to look at it beyond just ordinary. You can have as much as 10 subcommittees. This thing you are looking, the moment you have the itemized people in transportations, people who take care of accommodations, people who take care of logistics, and people who prepare, there will be sightseeing, all these sightseeing hotel, the venues you want to use, people who will go into the business of the day. So it's going to be huge. There will be subcommittees. They would deliberately want to give that committee the freedom to choose and run it. What we want is results. And I've interacted with most of the members of the committees, and they've shown the intention to do it for us. And I think they have enough time to go for it. Thank you. So, shall we?
What my brother said about the number of the committee, in my own view, it's not a committee of contention where they will have to be voting and you don't want a tie and so on. I see that the planning committee of intellectuals that will generate ideas about the program, just as the president has said, be free to go up as many people as possible to execute the program. So the issue of being a number may not really be necessary.
Thank you so much. And can I have the motion now?
I, Comrade Ojoluwole Joseph, popularly addressed as Ojuagbe, the dramatic actualizer, I hereby move the motion that this committee should be inaugurated as we pray for the success of the program.
Thank you. Second, please. Yeah.
I, Dr. Ladimeji Samuel, second the motion moved by Comrade Ojo to go ahead and inaugurate the committee for this special location coming our way. Thank you.
Thank you. So, by the powers conferred on me, the President of the Alumni Associations, and have been approved by the convention this afternoon, I hereby inaugurate this 12-man committee. Professor Jonathan Oyekere as the chairman of the committee, Mr. Femi Abodurin, member, Professor Henry Fadamiro, member, Mr. Emeka Onyejeli, member, Mr. Ibrahim Oladayo, member, Professor Kayode Aleshe, member, Professor Yemisi Adeparusi, member, Engineer Odile Oke, member, Mr. Francis Omovude, member, Mr. Abayomi Ayodele, member, Dikin Akintomidia, member, and Comrade Idede Osanide will serve as secretary. The mission of this committee, this Global Homecoming, really, is to create a platform for Futurians to interact and share values that will be beneficial and foster growth among members of the alumni in particular and our university in general. I thereby inaugurated this committee this afternoon on the 28th November 2024. Thank you and God bless you all. Having said that, the next under AOB that I think I should bring to the table of the trust fund is our Alumni Trust Fund Board. I've been having a lot of headaches on this board. When I came on board, I spent 3 years as the president of this association. And I have an IPP who's supposed to guide me on how we should handle this issue of trust fund board. But I must say this, that I've not done any single meeting with them. We've not interacted. All what the past president will say is that they only meet during the convocation. I called the chairman, Engineer Falike. I called the secretary. I called one of the members. I even suggested online meetings. Nothing came to be. And of course, their time has run out, really. We're now trying to see how we can reconstitute this board. I've discussed with the Advancement Center as well, and we've been trying to see what we can do. We're trying to bring down some names about how we can run this trust fund. One of the things I observed in the last trust fund is, yes, we have a trust fund that we say we want to raise fund. How do we want to raise the fund? Yes, each alumni should be paying 1,000 naira every year. And some people are paid 1, 2, 3 years, and they're asking questions. What do you want to do with this fund? And I think we need to redefine the purpose of the trust fund board. And I come to the conclusion that our trust fund board should be a kind of endowment board where we have a target. It's not a function of just pay your 1,000. I know. Let's have a target. If you have your 1,000, yes. Some people have 1 million. Some people have 10 million. What we should be looking at, I want to raise 5 billion naira, for example, in the next 2, 3 years. How do we get about it? We have the trust fund that can handle that. We link up with our people. So there should be a target where all of us will run to. While we are raising the fund, the university will be working behind the scene to look for projects that we can target with that fund. So we are still working on that. And I think we're almost there. I think what we are having now is the issue of patron. We have Afe Babalola, chief, as the last patron. We are thinking of, and I want to throw into this convention that we are of the opinion probably to use the capital of Ugbo Kingdom or Bats. Some people mention office, some people mention Governor Mimiko and others. We want to make sure that whoever we are choosing as the patron should be within the catchment area of the University on Ondo Ekiti. So it's open for advice that whatever link individual have, they should get back to us so that we can conclude this by January. We can have a functional trust fund board. That's all about the trust fund, except we have 1 or 2 people who can also give us direction about that. Yeah. Pastor Adelaku. Pastor Adelaku is a former president of Futa Alumni. Thank you.
Thank you. All protocols duly observed. Thank you, House. Seen some people again after a long time. Thank God for life. Mr. President, thank you very much. I'm not too sure about the structure of the trust fund, so to say, but the issue of this patron, I'm thinking, I'm not sure whether the patron thing is part of the board as such. I think it's an honorary thing that is out of, is the board that we are reconstituting. So we should seek to re-engage Baba Affair, Babalola on this matter. There are people who have links to them. I mean, Honorable is there. So let's find a way to link up with him. And then, like you said, that question is very germane. The vision, the revision of the trust fund, I think we need to sit down properly and think out with it and really be sure what exactly is this thing we are talking about. I mean, what are we driving at? So you are in the right line. That I don't know if I may suggest a practical step forward. Maybe you can constitute 2 or 3 committees to work with the NEC to sit down to properly look at what we really have in mind.
No, I think what you should just do, because it's a function of the NWC, we just open it that whoever that have any idea to give to us should please forward it to us. Thank you.
President, all protocols duly observed. I want to find that Pastor Adelakun has spoken about. In respect of Baba Afe Babalola, as the president mentioned sometime yesterday, he also has if we want to re-engage with him meaningfully, the best thing is to go to him with a project. Or just going to tell him we want to be the patron and so on. That may just be as if we are playing. If the trust fund constituted to decide on what we want, and we now say, Baba, you are the patron, this is what we want, and I'm sure the trust fund will be able to come back with something substantial. But he also made another point. What is the vision? As somebody who has just a little bit of experience in issue of lawmaking and legislation or whatever, I think we should have some video about how the trust fund will function. And that's what will make it possible for subsequent or successive presidents and NEC to operate within the trust fund. I know the trust fund is actually a baby of the university, but with the idea that the alumni should drive it. But there must be some rules. There must be a manual of procedure that will say this is how the trust fund will function. Not that we have 3 years. The money in the account substantially just sitting there and lying down there. And I was trying to do a little bit of calculation when the president spoke. 1,000 naira per alumni. I don't know members of the alumni. But if we are talking about a trust fund that will impact the university, so as you said, that's just the fund must be very mobile, very dynamic, very energetic to move around and source for support and the way to get results. Then if you just go and meet somebody that we have a trust fund, we want to be developing the university, there's no specific project, there may be no motivation or inspiration. But for now, if we say we are building, we now have, I think, 400 students of medicine. We want to build a college of medicine, or we want to build a teaching hospital, or we want to buy a CT scan machine, and the cost is $100,000 and so on. Then there is motivation, there is a target. You can begin to even measure performance. But if it is just that we pay 1,000 per year and gather it and so on, I'm not sure that may be able to really achieve the idea of the trust fund. And in rounding up, talking about this trust fund, I went online, I saw the report of when it was inaugurated. One of the professors there mentioned that I think the Alumni Association of Yale University set up a trust fund of $1.9 billion. And that's the kind of thing I think that the university had in mind. So I want to implore the NEC and the NWC, if we want to give life to the trust fund, I Yeah, let's make it total and complete so that it will begin to move towards that.
Perfect. Thanks so much. Or so that once already we are entering the second phase of it. Prof, do you want to say something? Yeah, good. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The trust fund was set up in our regime. And why we make, I want to make clarification about Afek Babalala. The whole process started, began during the regime of Akure, and we are able to complete it during our own regime. We make Afek Babalala patron because we want to use this connection. When we were in his place, he told us that he might not have, like what you said, might not have, if he has no investment, he might not be able to give it, he can understand what he can give us this connection. That's what we needed that time. He said we should be coming from time to time to him so that whatever we need, we can connect, we can, link us up with that one. And for those people in that committee who are unable to meet, who are so busy, a lot of them are busy. Many times he travel out of the country, you will not see him in the country. He was planning to raise about 30 million sometimes ago, call all his friends, to raise 1 million or 2 million. We know about it sometimes during our own regime. And at the same time, Engineer Palike, they were trying to do something, they are busy. So if you want to reconstitute, that is the lacuna there, so that we will not consider those people that will be busy again and they won't have time to run the trust fund.
Thank you.
It's a baby, and at the same time, it's a baby of the alumni, not the university. It's our establishment. Thank you.
Thank you. We are running out of time so that we can move to the second phase of this program. We are seeing AOP, and I think do we have 1 or 2 things so that we can round up this program? Our speaker is here. Thank you, Prof.
Thank you. My hobby is, of course, I've earlier raised this. I look at this program, and for the purpose of clarity, I discovered that Ondo State branch is missing from the National Working Committee. You may not know the reason, so that's why at least this convention needs to be brief so that we should know why they are not there. Because
thank you. Okay. Is that so that?
Yes.
Thank you. Ondo is not missing. Ondo State is there. You see their Google message. But I know that Ondo is facing some leadership crisis, which we try to settle and work on. And when you say another, yes, so we know where we are coming from, and I've spoken with the chairman. You want to say something different from what I'm saying? Yes, sir. What do you want to say different from what I'm saying?
Please. Well, it is true that there was a misunderstanding at the time. But I know that we call ourselves together, and of which I remember 2 representatives from the national were in attendance when this thing was resolved. Except we want to say that acting capacity is not recognized by maybe by the convention or whatever. If not, there's no reason why they should be completely removed from this. Even
removed as what?
It's not the National Working Committee. There's nobody there. No, those states. Nobody. Look at the program. Maybe you have not seen my president. Look at it, Mr. President.
Thank you. Okay,
and again, we're talking of reports from branches, not from Ondo State. Even that crisis is enough report, at least to be presented here.
Let me quickly say this. I'm in talk with the president, the chairman of the caretaker committee. After the position of the caretaker committee of Ondo branch, we all know what passed through. At a point, leadership didn't want to respect the powers of the NWC to mediate into the issues. But the NWC lay it down and still find a way to move around it to make sure that we have peace in Ondo State. I must say this. Even last NWC meeting we had, when the vice chancellor get involved, we deliberately pay a leadership. It is the NWC that has the power to deal with issues of the branches. But when the crisis came on board, we now said no. The VC got involved, set up committee, and we allow it to fly. 6 months. And I told the NWC, they gave them 6 months to conduct the election. What happened after 6 months? It ended this December. That the NWC should please see how we can make continue to move. Give them extensions. And we resolved last night that the extension will be given to the committee so that they can have the time to do the election. And they said they want to bring report. I said, I know what is going on. What report does Ondo want to bring? I accepted the goodwill message. Is it just that you attended meetings or what? They asked about the capitation fees. I even said, let's overlook it for Ondo. They are having a caretaker committee now. They can be exempted from paying that 100,000 naira as for capitation fees, so that the caretaker committee should be independent. They said, he who plays the piper dictates the tunes. We don't want a situation where the same committee will be going to members asking for money to pay capitation. We said no, overlook it. They give them extension so that they couldn't do that election in 6 months. Maybe 3 months, 90 days, they can come up with election. We have decided to write them, to bring them on board. That is where we are at the level of the NWC. They are simple things. I'm discussing with the chairman nearly every day, except we have other things to prove. That's the situation. Okay? Yeah, any other thing outside this that I've said? Thank you. So that we can round up this. Thank you. So I think we can just close it up and move the motion for the closing of this, so that we can move to lecture. Anything? But we are already. Our lecturers around the.
I want to tell one of us.
Let us be brief.
Yes, I'll be brief. I realize that what is going on is a kind of cold war in the Ondo States body and the national body. And I think that the national body is a father ought to have played a very good lesson. Observation, sir. I think you can let me land, sir. God bless you, sir.
Please, let's quickly say it.
We are the play group, and so we know what is going on in our own Ondo State. I believe that by the time the BC called on the body that
are you going to the story? What is at this stage? What do you want?
What I'm saying is this: firstly, Ondo State was completely eluded from this.
I think
Two, we have a standing committee that have been in place. What Prof, I think that Prof is a Prof, was talking about, I believe that members of the standing committee, of which yes, is out now, and Mrs. Lukoju, who happened to be the secretary, was there. I managed to ask the secretary that what was going on. Why was it that her name was not included? Who is our mommy, Mrs. Salah, representing? Has she not came out from Ondo State? Does she not know that our names ought to be there? Were you the one that lacks the function you should perform?
Thank you.
I was disturbed because
honestly,
being present here has no meaning.
Thank you.
We,
Thank
Ondo
you.
State.
Thank you.
If we are not being recognized.
Thank you. Thank you. I think it's all about intentions. Sometimes we could go to a place with certain intentions. But when you get there, you need to be mindful and be sensitive to the environment. You'll find yourself that probably you could have a change of mind to whatever you are doing. We are all adults. And somebody said it here. It's high time. It's high time. We start to behave like a mature person and stay away from all these students. You know, what we are saying here, I've explained to you. Even right yesterday, we make a resolution. I even attempted, I knew at the point they were asking some of you to contribute money for capitation. I said, no. I pleaded with the NWC. Let's give this committee the freedom to operate. Don't let them go back to any individual before they could do anything. What do you want us to do again? Whatever you could have gotten in your mind, what we are saying here now is that we've been able, 6 months is elapsed. What happened next month? What happened next month? You understand me? It's a simple thing. So we've been able to resolve that so that we can have continuity. Please, we are past that level. We are moving on, and things will get better. Okay? Thank you. No need. Don't let's work lazy so that we can move to the next program. So then, maybe some of you could be looking at maybe one of your members that is not shown in the membership of NWC, that's the IPP. Right? Maybe. So that I want us to clear it. IPP resigned from both NEC and NWC. So you don't expect us to put him in our program. Okay. So that is it. It's clear. Okay, so I think on this note, we want to move to the next stage of this program for the lecture proper. We'll have about 5 minutes of, let's just stretch our leg, then we can call in our prayer. Thank you. Okay. Motion for adjournment of the, okay, please go ahead.
In the absence of no further discussion, I, Comrade Akure Fatoki, the welfare officer, hereby move the motion for the adjournment of this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. So our visitors are already coming. Yeah.
In the absence of, no, I hereby second the motion raised by Comrade Fatoki.
Charles, you know, then